Alright guys, we're back for episode 5 of One Piece discussion and where Ichimi talks. And today we're going to be talking about the Reverse Mountain arc leading up towards, what's after that? It's
Whiskey
Whiskey
Peak.
Peak. That's right.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Alright, so
All right, who's starting off?
last time we ended off when the crew left Town,
Yes.
and literally like 10 seconds later they're already here at Reverse Mountain, in the manga at least. So they arrive at Reverse Mountain and they see that the mountain has like a waterway, very harsh waterway leading up to the top. And I forget how they realized that like all the paths would converge into one and then come out in the Grand Line, or if they already knew that.
I don't
but-
remember if they were looking at like a map or a chart,
Yeah.
but
I don't
yeah,
remember.
they basically ended up figuring that out. And yeah, they go up towards the mountain and it's like a
Yeah.
sick waterfall all the way up.
And
Yeah.
then they start heading down the pathway that leads into the Grand Line, and they see what they think is a mountain, like another mountain next to Reverse Mountain.
Yeah.
This big black thing. Then they get closer and they realize it's a whale.
I mean,
Yep.
the thing is,
Massive
what
whale.
happened is that they didn't know it was a whale at first until it opened its eye. But
Yeah.
you know, they normally when you see something that humongous, you know, you would try to avoid it. What does Luffy do? Motherfucker straight up like punches it in the eye.
Yeah, he
Not
was.
giving two fucks. Literally just punches that whale in the fucking eye.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if something's in the way, you gotta get it out the way.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
punches
well,
his way
wait,
through
wait.
it.
Unfortunately, you know, that pissed off the whale, and what does the whale do? Oh, it eats the entire ship, but Luffy. Luffy somehow manages to escape that shit, but he leaves the entire crew to die in the fucking whale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so the whole ship is swallowed by the whale, and it's almost as if they're dreaming, and they just see like, oh, we're still like in an ocean, and you can see the sky and everything. And then
Yeah.
they go up to this island inside the whale, and there's this guy named Crocus on the island.
The boy.
And from what I remember, like there was a couple threats thrown around when they met, like a little bit of disrespect, a little bit of shit talking between both parties.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, we have a little bit of a special guest as well along with them inside Laboon. Seems like
that?
there's a blue-haired girl amongst them.
We're not
with
even there
another-
yet.
It's in here.
That's after.
Nah, it's like after they like had their old conversation with Crocus.
Okay, dude. So, yeah, after the conversation with Crocus, it cuts to Luffy, like, getting inside the whale through like a door.
Yeah, there's like a
Like a
hatch on the top and he just enters through it.
Yeah. And then, you know, Luffy's walking down this fucking metallic looking hallway like SpongeBob when he goes through the time machine to get to the future type looking shit.
Yeah.
And then
Future.
and then he sees these two people, one woman with blue hair and one generic looking dude. And I don't remember if Luffy can hear like them talking, but in the manga at least we get to see these two people conversing, and we see that the guy's name is Mr. 9?
I think so, Mr. Nine.
Yeah, and then
Miss
the blue-haired
Wednesday.
girl is Miss Wednesday,
Yeah.
and they're basically plotting to kill the whale and take its meat for
The
Oh,
village.
for their village. Yeah, which we'll learn what that is later. And where does that bring us?
I think it's just after
I
all
think it's
that.
just more of Laboon really just crashing his into the fucking wall at that point.
Yeah, he's just crashing his head into the mountain. We find out Laboon's backstory because
Laboon
the
basically he was dumped on the island by a bunch of like other pirates that took care of him. And
What island?
well, like the reverse mountain, yeah.
Well, he wasn't dumped there. He was
No, he was
following
left there.
this crew in the West Blue, and then they eventually got to Reverse Mountain, and they made their way out here, where Crocus was looking after the lighthouse on the
Yeah.
other side of Reverse Mountain.
Crocus literally said like he made a promise to take care of Laboon, and then the pirates like made a promise to Laboon, the whale, that like they will come back after they sail like through the entire Grand Line.
Yeah, but that was after the pirates they stood like with Crocus there for like what, like a few years or something,
Yeah.
because their ship was broken, so they stayed a few years. They became good friends, and then the pirates, they head into the Grand Line.
yeah, they have to
and-
part ways with the whale.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
whale's convinced they're gonna come back because that's like his only friends he has,
Yeah.
only connection. And then Crocus tells the crew that he believes that the crew didn't die, because this is 50 years later in the present. So everyone's thinking, oh, the crew died, that's why they didn't come back. But no. Apparently the crew ended up leaving the Grand Line through the Calm Belt. And yeah, but Crocus has tried telling Laboon that the crew left him, but he does not want to believe it. So he just continues to crash into the Red Line, trying to break the Red Line, I guess.
Yeah.
Reverse Mountain.
Yeah, after learning that story, all the characters in the whale encounter each other, so that includes the two characters with the blue hair and the other guy, Luffy as well, and the crew in the boat. And I forget how they escape it. I think it was the guy taking care of the whale. He opened like this door because he knows
there's
the
a
inside.
massive door like inside the whale, and Laboon was like bashing his head as all this was happening. So Crocus was just trying to get to this little room where he can give sedatives to the whale and inject them into him.
Yeah,
that's
basically
what he
calm him
went to
down.
do. And as that was all happening, the crew followed him because they realized they were in stomach acid, which they thought was the ocean. So
Yep.
they thought the ship was gonna completely dissolve, so they had to get a move. And throughout all this,
Luffy's still battling the whale.
no, not yet. That's after.
Yeah, that's once they escape.
You sure you read this, dude?
I literally, I fucking made sure I like double checked it too,
Mm.
but I tried to like skim through it as much as possible.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Zero effort on your part. So, as all this is happening, the Crocus is giving Laboon the sedatives. He ends up calming down, and then Crocus points to an escape route, like for the crew and everything. And meanwhile, the two rogues, the two villains, are on the ship with the Straw Hats.
Yep.
And then what happened?
Well, I know they just all end up leaving the whale. Like they all get out of the whale stomach, and they all meet up. And then after they're trying to leave, Luffy hears about the story with the whale and about him being abandoned. So Luffy made a promise to Laboon to wait for him, just like how he did with the other pirates. But Luffy being the main character, like he's gonna keep his promise for sure. And Luffy paints
his Jolly Roger.
Yeah, paints it on the whale's like nose, so that
Really
way he
terribly,
doesn't.
but yeah.
That way he
He
doesn't
paints
crash
it on
it.
his head, so he doesn't like. He tells him, if you ram your head into the red line, it'll take off the paint
Yeah.
and everything.
And once they're all like done talking and establishing connections, we basically hear that we need this post. Was it like a compass to navigate through the Grand
Yeah,
Lines?
the
The
log
log
pose.
pose.
Yeah. So we learn about that and what's the guy's name who took care of Laboon?
Crocus.
Yeah, Crocus had one, but before that, Luffy or someone found the log post from the two like bandits in the whale.
Yeah, Luffy found it from them because they ended up dropping it.
Yeah, and
like,
then
when they fell from that whole little thing when Laboon was crashing.
yeah, and while they were settling down, Sanji finally cooks the elephant tuna fish, whatever it's called, that he got from Logtown before then, and then everyone's excited to eat, and I think it was Sanji and Luffy or Luffy just telling Sanji telling Luffy just like to calm down because Luffy was getting too excited, and then they end up breaking the log post, and Nami's like all upset like, oh, we needed that, but you guys like screwed it all up.
I think
But
it was
then-
because Luffy like ate all the fish and then Sanji.
Oh
got
yeah,
mad
that's
at
right.
him.
Yeah. Luffy ate everything and Sanji got mad. And then after that, what's this guy's name?
Crocus basically
Crocus.
was just like, yeah, don't worry about it. I got one too. I'll just give it to you.
Yeah, so they
Crocus
take
ended
his.
up giving one to them for helping versus the two guys, Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine.
Yeah.
And once they're all ready to get out and head to the Grand Line, now they have the log post. The two bandits are like on their knees begging if they could take them to their village because they have like their mission has failed of killing the whale now that this whole thing happened, so they just need to go home and like return before they get stranded because they don't have like any way of getting home. And they eventually like convince the Straw Hats, they like agree, and then they go to
It didn't take much convincing, really. It's Luffy, so.
well,
he
Luffy doesn't like them, but they
Yeah.
decided to go because it was on the way as the first destination of the Grand Line.
Yeah, that was the first island picked by the log post was where they needed to go anyway.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was just like they just carpooled in there, easy ride. But
Yeah.
they end up in Whiskey Peak, and that's where we find out about a whole other stuff.
Wait, before that, I forget what Crocus says like as they're leaving. Let me double check. But Crocus was pretty much talking like where he was thinking to himself that the captain, which being Luffy, has an aura about him, and he might be the person you're talking about. We don't know who he's talking, like who he's thinking about,
Right.
like but he says something like that.
Yeah.
Which it's something good to keep your keep your thought on.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
that wraps up this arc, I guess you could call it. This mini
Wrapping
arc.
up Whiskey Peak.
Now,
Oh no, wait,
No,
he
Whiskey,
does.
never-
Crocus does mention who he was talking about. He says Roger. So we learn that Crocus has some type of relation to Roger, like as
Yeah.
they're leaving.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, a lot of people who know Roger and see Luffy, they see resemblance, because of the energy they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But summarizing the Reverse Mountain, now we're
It's the
heading
end
into the
for
Grand
Reverse
Line
Mountain.
officially. No more bumps in the road. Now they're gonna be in the Grand Line, heading to the first islands, and that's gonna
Yep.
be covered on the next episode.
Whiskey Peak.
Okay, guys, we'll see you later. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.